When two fearful avoidants come together, usually they split and one becomes more anxious and one becomes more avoidant over time. It's just the way that it is. And so when I say that conflict is an opportunity, it's really, really frustrating and difficult for these two people because what will happen is as the anxious person begins to withdraw and go into their avoidancy, and as the avoidant person begins to notice that the anxious person is withdrawing, they go up when the other goes down. And finding the balance in the middle can become really challenging because you're triggering each other in opposite directions at all times. And so the way that conflict can actually become productive and helpful is if both people start to notice their anxious and their avoidant tendencies. And they start to reflect on why they show up that way. What's going on within themselves that causes those behaviors to start to manifest. And from there, how can they begin to say, you know what, I'm starting to feel anxious again. I'm starting to message them too many times. I'm starting to worry if they don't text me back within an hour or two. That's not great. I don't want to go back into that place, so I need to communicate with them. Hey, I noticed you've been taking longer to text me, which is an avoidant behavior. And what it takes from the other partner is to say, you're right. I've been kind of avoiding you. It's not an extremely avoidant behavior, but it's still beginning to avoid and withdraw. And I don't want to be that way. All right, I'm going to work on it. And then they have to actually both take in that feedback from each other and do something about it. And it brings them both more to the center of being secure instead of, flip-flopping back and forth between who's going to be avoidant and who's going to be anxious. That's what I find to be the most helpful, but it does take emotional regulation and open conversation and being open to the other person pointing out something that's not working.